There is one thing stronger than all the armies in the world put together, and that is an idea whose time has come. Idea perhaps is the most dangerous and most powerful of all the weapons. Hello and a very warm welcome viewers. You're watching the special presentation of Sansad TV on the journey of startups. India has the third largest startup ecosystem in the world. And if you're an aspiring entrepreneur or even otherwise, this is your destination as we script the novel success stories of unicorns, mid and small level startups, analyze the roadblocks and give wings to your dreams of becoming a job giver and not being a job seeker. So today, let's hear the story of startup Maithri Aquatech that converts air into water and creates magic. Hyderabad-based Maithri Aquatech is attempting to produce fresh, potable water through its range of innovative atmospheric water generators. A brainchild of M Ramkrishna, the unique startup, by putting the abundant air around us to work, is certainly addressing an acute global problem. With raw material, that is air, being available free of cost, Maithri Aquatech is also an environmentally friendly technology which results in no water wastage like RO desalinization systems. Also, the technology does not require an existing source of water for producing clean water like a conventional reverse osmosis system. It simply produces water when there is no water. Mr. Krishna, Mr. Mathur, welcome to Sansad TV and thank you so much for joining us. You've flown from Hyderabad to our studio. Thank you so much. Welcome. So converting air into water sounds very, very interesting. This is magic water. A very interesting idea, but how did the journey begin? I'd like to understand that.
Actually, the genesis of the whole story is when I was in Ahmednagar, which is one of supposed to be a very, very heavily water challenging area. In my childhood, I used to see my mother getting up at 3 o'clock, 2:30 in the early morning to get few buckets of water. So those memories were very strong in me. But when I grew up, after my engineering, I did my mechanical engineering. And then when I grew up, and I worked with Arvind Lalbhai Group, Amtrex and all that. So there I realized that water, I read a lot of articles about water being available in the atmosphere. But that was the time when I got that, okay, there's so much of challenge. Lakhs of children dying, there's so much of problem, women traveling kilometers, and there unfortunately, there's so much of water which is available in the air and we are not able to tap. And I come from a city of Hyderabad. Nearby we have a place called Nalgonda, which is having a lot of fluoride problem. And hundreds and hundreds of people die every year just because of fluoride problem or their challenge. And we in Andhra Pradesh, we have another area called Srikakulam, where because of uranium traces, almost every second house have somebody who have a kidney failure. So there is, and this is a global phenomenon. I'm not talking about what I'm trying to give a, but unfortunately, there is so much of available water in the atmosphere which can be tapped and we are not working on it. So, and exactly in the same time when I started working on that, Honorable Prime Minister visited Israel in 2014-15. And he made a statement that India will also be fortunate if they have any atmospheric water generator which can convert the humidity in atmosphere. And that's exactly that inspiration made me to work faster. And 2016 we registered the company and 2018 we delivered the first machine.
Fantastic. Would you like to add to that?
I think we have created a completely new category of water because traditionally one is used to sourcing water either from, under the ground, which is what we call groundwater, or surface water resources. Or there's an option of probably desalination, which is very expensive and impacts marine life as well. But this is actually a completely new category of water, completely scalable, and you're using a renewable source of water. So it's water anytime, anywhere, and at scale.
Selling this idea must have been a very, very difficult task, and especially creating a business model which is profitable. How did you think of this business model?
Exactly, because see, people are used to buying the water at a low price or government subsidizing the water. So and whereas we are not purifying the water, we are harvesting the water. So we are talking about adding water which was not there yesterday. Every liter that we make today was not there 1 minute back. So we are adding water. So the cost of making that water is little more than normal water. But then there is no water. Today in India, we have a 40% deficit and there is no technology right now which can make water for that scale. So either we agree or disagree. We need a new category of water which have to be there. So today it may be pricey like what has been to solar or what has been to electric vehicles initially. Over a period of time, the price has come down. We are very confident that as we go along, the price will also come down and this category will evolve itself over a period of time. It will become much more affordable.
So I just wanted to add to that. Essentially what we are doing is, while we are using a nature-based technology to harvest water from the moisture, we realize that it is not possible for everyone to buy the equipment. So one of our business model obviously is you buy the equipment and we have an AMC, just like any other durable. What we also realize, a lot of people would like to use, people, organizations, institutions globally would like to use water as a service. So we also have a mechanism wherein we just price the water basis use. So essentially you have a metering system to water. And the third business model which we have in place is essentially on a lease basis, wherein people can also take our machines on lease. So that way we ensure that we are fairly flexible, catering to different requirements.
India is a very price-sensitive market. It is extremely competitive. But selling this idea to the companies or to the final buyer, that must have been a task.
Yes, I think that's a very good question. See, what Maithri brings to the table is bringing scale to this technology and creating this new category of water, which is water from the air. And today, what we have is, if I have to look back, in terms of kind of clients which we have all large Fortune 500 companies who have been early adopters of this technology, wherein they use this, our machines, Meghdut, we call them Meghdut, which in Sanskrit means messenger of the skies, which they install in their premises to meet their ESG goals, generate their own water, don't have any external dependency, don't need to get water to their campuses. Along with that, they're also using this for their CSR initiatives in communities. So that is one application. We are working with all the big global multinationals such as Google, Microsoft, Amazon, to name a few. And second thing is, what we've realized is, since we're able to generate water at scale, one industry which is a huge guzzler of water is the bottled water industry. Because bottled water industry essentially relies on groundwater. And RO is the only mechanism of purification of that groundwater, which leads to huge amount of wastage. Now, air water is a technology wherein we ensure that it's completely environmentally sustainable. There is absolutely zero wastage. And we set up the first bottling plant using air, water sourced from the air. And that has been set up for one of our partners in Hyderabad. And that's the first of its kind which has ever been done in the world. And going forward, what we are doing is we are setting up similar such plants. Very soon we'll be setting up a plant of 200,000 liters per day in the UAE. And arising from that, now we are also working with the BIS authorities to create an air water standard. So this plant not only meets the potable water requirements, another very unique application which we have done is, in this plant is that we have also ensured that the same energy is used to cool the entire factory. So as a result of which, it eliminates the use of external air conditioners. BIS certified, FSI certified, all the necessary certifications in place. The third category which we are working, so one is about institutions, second was about bottling. The third category is building a water infrastructure where there is no infrastructure or there's a compromised structure. Now, we are working on a lot of government projects, a lot of them on a public-private partnership projects, wherein we provide water. For instance, we have set this in a kiosk format in Secunderabad railway station. And this project has been live for the last 3 years. And on a daily basis, we are providing clean and safe water to commuters on a sustainable basis without exploiting a single drop of scarce depleting water from traditional sources of water. And likewise, we have taken this similar initiative also to communities. We are working with municipal corporations in smart cities to provide water to communities at a very affordable price. So that's the third area in which we are working. Now, in terms of market validation, I mean, besides our projects, we already have over 600 projects in 27 countries. We've been receiving lots of rewards and recognition globally. Right from industry bodies in India, from state government to some of the largest global awards, we've received them for this innovative technology, a technology developed in India for the world. And let me add another point to this. See, what's happening is today, especially we see there's a lot of traction in the Mia region because that's where there's a huge problem in terms of water availability. And in fact, recently we have also been, we have worked with the UAE government and we have exported some of our larger machines so that they can use it to meet their potable water requirements and also working on a joint research with us to see how it can be taken forward in other geographies in the Middle East. Another thing I want to add is very recently realizing that the importance of this technology in Qatar, the Qatar government has come up with a challenge which says that if you can generate water from air at scale, we are there to support for that project. So they're talking about a $1 million cash prize for somebody who can support doing that, and we are working for them. So as we see it in terms of traction, there's been huge amount of traction. Very recently, we have been part of the Smart City Conference in Surat, and very happy to inform you that during the 2 days of the conference, we catered to the entire potable water requirements of the conference. We generated close to 3,200 liters of water. And what is most interesting to know is, by doing so, we saved over 6,500 liters of water which can be used somewhere else. So I think every drop of water which one uses from our machines helps adding back to scarce, depleting groundwater.
Oh, absolutely, Mr. Mathur. In fact, I was also there in Surat in that conference and I survived on your water for 3 days. But this kind of traction only comes with a very strong team. We spoke to your team members as well. Let's listen in.
We at Maithri Aquatech are providers of renewable and sustainable water solutions, wherein we provide water solutions by generating water through air. Maithri has been involved with governments, corporates, Fortune 500 companies, hospitals, NGOs and various other organizations from around the globe, where we are working with them to change them from net consumers of water to net producers of water.
So what about investment? Mr. Ramkrishna, you were telling me that when you approached the banks, they said, मजाक कर रहे हैं क्या? हवा से पानी कैसे बन जाएगा? So was it bootstrap? Are you looking for investors? How did it come through?
As on today, Maithri Aquatech is fully bootstrapped. We did get a lot of traction from a lot of investors, angel investors and all that, and we have got valuations also from different level, because fact is that we are one of the world's largest air water company, and more importantly, we are in a place where the demand is going to be there in India, because India itself is one of the world's largest markets. So people are able to relate to the potential of this product, and it is also to the ESG goals of the and UNSDG goals. We are perfectly aligned with UNSDG goals. And Honorable Prime Minister's vision of exports, Har Ghar Jal, and all these things are anyway are a part of the business model that we have. So we are getting investor traction, but we are speaking to some of the larger investors also. I think going forward, very shortly, we should be able to close one of them and then move on.
Just adding to what Mr. Ramkrishna said, we are very careful in taking a decision on this. We are looking at strategic investment into this business, because we realize water is such a huge subject and we see this being the next Fortune 500 company. So if that's the case, you want to be associated with the right set of people and with the right ticket size as well. So we are taking our time, and till then it is bootstrapped.
So Fortune 500 company looking at an IPO sounds very interesting, but I'm sure this mustn't have been easy. What were the roadblocks and the challenges?
See, it's a very interesting question, because that is exactly what is the challenge, and that's what inspires us, and that's what inspires the investors also to be part of our company and our journey. Because one way, there's a huge challenge of water. world needs it. And as I told you, millions of people dying, and 85% of the global diseases are waterborne. 50% of the hospital beds are waterborne. So the challenge is to create this water at the scale. All the while, 1910 is the first year when the patent for condensation technology was filed. So this technology is not new. This technology is 110 years old. But what Maithri brought to the table is the scale. And we said we are not an engineering company making a machine, but we are a water company. Machine is only a means to make the water, because the world needs water. World doesn't need machine. So the whole paradigm shift that Maithri has taken, that we are a water company and not an engineering company, that made all the difference. And that also created a lot of challenges, because you don't have the vendors of the scale, because the scale is not there in the country. We made India's first 5,000 liters per day machine. Now we are making India's first 10,000 liters per day machine. So those machines require a lot of technology, a lot of and also because it's bootstrapped. So you have to be very conscious that you don't do mistakes, or there is no judgmental or error in your decisions while you are working on innovation. And constantly we are innovating, we are filing patents. We are now at this point of time, we are working on 14 different research possibilities with our product, and we are working with the world's best organizations on the research. So while the research is a very important aspect, we have to spend on the research, building a team. And the biggest challenge is building a team, because there is no precedence in this country. So you don't have people to, and you have to tell them that you can make water from air, and this is the company is going to become a Fortune 500 company. It's not easy, because finally building a team is a larger challenge. So these are all some of those, and of course, convincing the banker. You won't believe it, when I went to a bank and tried to explain them, the banker did not even believe. He said, "Sir, aap mazak kar rahe hain kya?" So from there we could prove it.
So the banker says, "Aap mazak kar rahe hain kya?" So then this is very difficult, selling the idea.
Yes.
You know, initially people have been apprehensive. People have not been very sure that this technology is going to work. So as a result of which, we've seen that, you know, initial adaptation was a little bit of a challenge, because people said, "Hawa se pani nahi ho sakta hai." Now, but then gradually we've seen that with the support which we have got from a lot of large organizations, a lot of progressive organizations, we've seen that we've been able to scale it to a great extent. And now we are looking at taking it to the next level, because at the end of the day, we realize that machines is just the means to the end. At the end of the day, what matters is water. And we are not only now talking about generating, you know, normal water, but, you know, also seeing, you know, there are different types of water which are required. There's medical grade water, there is water which is required for industry. So all that is possible. And there are other projects which we are working on, also very interesting projects, which is such as green hydrogen, carbon capture. So R&D is the DNA of our company. I mean, and like Mr. Ramkrishna pointed out, we are working on various strategic tie-ups globally with the most renowned institutions, where we are doing constant improvement, constant R&D to ensure that we can better our game at the end of the day.
So an idea where your mother used to get up early in the morning and go and fetch water, to an order sheet of around 1800 CR. That's awe-inspiring. You're also eyeing an IPO. Tell me, what are the prospects?
We are planning an IPO by 2025. We are seeing huge traction globally. In fact, the way we envisage this is that our turnover, 80% of it, if not more, shall come from global markets. So this is an excellent example of an Indian company which is poised to increase the export component from India itself. So we are a Make in India company, an Atmanirbhar company, because every single to the last screw has been made in India, and a company which is going and exporting. I think that's also in line with what the Prime Minister is looking at it. So we are, personally, I think we are all very excited, and all of us are working round the clock to ensure that we can make our dream a huge success. And we see it already, because we are already seeing a huge amount of traction in the market.
I am completely inspired by this story, but tell me, what is the message to the other budding entrepreneurs?
See, the most important is to have a dream, to chase the dream. And in the bargain, many people may disagree with you. Many people may say this is not possible. But then, if you have a dream, we'll have to work out. And we have to work continuously. The failures will only be a stepping stone towards the ultimate vision that we have towards our business, our company and all. So my message to all the entrepreneurs and budding entrepreneurs is only one thing: keep chasing your dream. But most important thing is do something which will make Earth a better place to live. India a proud country. I think we should always be aligned to making India a great country and the world a better place to live.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that. One should follow one's passion. If you have the conviction, live it, make it happen. Because at the end of the day, we strongly believe that any idea is not bad. If you have the conviction, you can make it succeed. And that's what we are doing at Maithri. And definitely, like Mr. Ramkrishna very rightly said, I think somewhere we owe it all to the next generation to have a better world, to have a greener environment. And today, what's happening because of climate changes? In fact, I would say most of the impact is because of man-made global warming. So one of the bigger areas which is getting impacted in a huge fashion is water availability. Yeah. Because what's happening with climate change is essentially, if you see, today climate changes is leading to erratic rainfall. Your total time frame, even if you see in the Indian context, when we used to talk of a rainy season, we talked about 3 months. And now guess what? You have about the entire rain cycle is there for about 20 days, intense rainfall, and then after that, there is no water. The rest of the year, you're completely dry. Likewise, if you see, and that water, whichever is there for 20 days, eventually, gets wasted and goes back into the sea. So you're not really harvesting it. You're not able to hold back the water. Likewise, if you see today, also because of climate changes, you have, the sea levels are increasing. As a result of which, the water in all the coastal areas, again, gets very saline, become very brackish. So your traditional systems of purification don't work. No. You have to do desalination, which is very, very expensive. So if you have to do something, you have to think differently. If you want different results, do things differently. All we talk about when we talk about water, it's recycle, reuse, rejuvenate. Those are all important initiatives. But it's also important to think out of the box and do things differently. And that's what we are doing. And I think we are fairly successful in where we are going.
That's true. All right, so chase your dream and, of course, find solutions to the problems. That is the message. But it was fantastic hearing your story. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, viewers. So that's all we have for you in this edition. Thanks for watching us. Stay tuned to Sansad TV. Namaskar.